He just jumped from one huge relationship, a lifelong relationship with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He ended that quick because he wanted a younger woman, obviously, to keep him spontaneous or whatever his reasoning for jumping ship. And you were very upset because you originally entrusted in him, and that was due to the fact that you wasn't getting what you needed from the younger cop. So the older cop, he already knew that. He knew you was going to be vulnerable. So he seized the opportunity to draw the attention from the younger one. Like you stated, that he even mentioned, that, like, what do you see in this younger cop that basically you don't see in me? An older gentleman that's much more established, that can teach you things and all of that type of stuff. But it was his delivery and his approach. He should have never told you fictitious information just to get a reaction out of you, to see how you really felt about the other gentleman and how you would feel about him, knowing that. Because he thought that he would be killing two birds with one stone, and he was trying to play on the fact that, you're inexperienced. He has much more knowledge about human behavior and dealing with people and all those different factors. But however, that wasn't correct, because you was able to weigh your options. You had enough time to think about the situation, what he was saying to you, and what the younger cop was saying to you, and you drew the conclusion that it was all lies, and that you was going to apologize for you basically believing in someone else instead of believing in him, based on his reactions too. So you just need that the older older cop coming to tell you the information was like confirmation of things that you already kind of speculated anyway, based on the treatment that you was given, based on our conversation from our last session. So, I mean, your responses and your actions were totally appropriate based on what you had at the surface at the time. And, I would commend you for, apologizing to him. And also, I was noting that you also stated that you didn't have a problem not only apologizing, but letting him know that you were comfortable where you guys were, and I really, truly, honestly commend you for that, because that takes a lot. Because, you kind of feel you was in another vulnerable state. You feel guilty, because, okay, well, maybe he was telling the truth, but you also knew in the back of your mind that there still is a possibility that there was some infidelity going on. Not necessarily, it may have not even been intimate, or however you want to look at it, but you felt disloyal, like the trust was broken and the bond was broken due to the simple fact that you guys had been intimate, and the things that he had stated with you in the relationship the way it was, so I do like the fact that you are willing to keep it just like that, and that you did recognize that a break was needed, and it still is needed, and that you don't want to be pushy on him, because you've already let him know how you ultimately feel. You've already let him know that. You've already displayed that. So I really do appreciate, again, I can't say that enough, that you did not, want to go back to where you guys were, because ultimately, unfortunately, that's where it was going to end up being, because you do need time, and you know what you want from him, and you showed that by your responses and the way that you reacted to the situation that you thought was happening, or is currently happening. We still don't know, and you probably would never know. But at least you know that you've taken control of the situation. And uh, yes, the opportunity still exists at this moment for him to be able to come back into your life, but on in a serious relationship whenever he's ready. But you're not going to initiate that, and so that's a much healthier option. A choice. I'm glad you came to that realization for yourself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So with these other relationships, who else were you referring to? Because you discussed, where you are with uh, the younger cop.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to ask you, are you really comfortable with the decision that you made?
Yeah. I feel like I have better control over the situation. I felt like I gave him all the power in it to make every decision. Like, I was asking him permission basically for what me and him are going to be when I can make that decision.
Okay.
If you're not going to give me what I want, then I can walk away. We can still be friends, but platonically be friends. Even when, if, it's clear that we're still attracted to one another.
Okay.
You can't access that from me without a commitment, because clearly it affects me when we don't have a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And I deserve better than that. And he understands that. I mean, we talked about, I was like being, again, vulnerable, but I wasn't asking for, like before, asking for his personal time or anything like that. I was just telling him, I think about you a lot still. I still think that you're the only guy, like, in the back of my mind that's just stuck there. And I think you're very nice, and you always make me laugh and stuff like that. And he's like, I think about you still too. And right now, honestly, I just don't have the time or whatever it is to where I can't just be the person you want me to be. One day I will be, but not right now. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's that.
Okay. And so you're content or happy, or how do you feel about your decision, honestly?
I'm happy about it. It raised my anxiety levels thinking about, will he finally feel this way about me, or will he finally give me what I want, basing it all on what he would probably want and not listening to what he's saying, which is not right now. And I should just go with that instead of try to push or hope for a different response. So that is closed. But
that's good. That's good. I'm glad that that you're thinking, like that, and basically that's where you're putting self first.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you adhered to his signs and what he was telling you. Obviously he didn't want to hurt you, so he does have some type of feelings, there for him to even come out and tell you, hey, I wish I was there, but honestly, please accept my decision. I'm not there right now, and you mentioned your anxiety levels, that's something that you can control, and that you can control, you should control, with or without medication. You know that those things, with him not responding the way that you want him to respond, that does escalate and elevate your anxiety levels. And that's something that you and I both do not want, because it can ultimately lead into hospitalizations or a serious anxiety attack. And so I'm glad that you took control over that situation. Now, with these other relationships, with the older cop, I know you stated that you're basically done, with him. You guys going to remain friends? I mean, what's the next phase for you guys?
For me, I just don't want to hear from him ever again, because if you're gonna go to those lengths, like, it's been how many weeks, and you just wanted to keep up this lie and try to poke it where you can get in and see oh, maybe she's feeling vulnerable. Maybe she'll feel vulnerable